Let's go. And we are live here on the Chuck and Shoot Show. There he is, my man, back at it. Oh my God. This was a hell of a week in football. College football has never been wilder. The NFL has never been more injury prone, although we say it every year. But shit's crazy, man. How are you feeling, Chuck?
I'm feeling pretty good. Just got news today. Cowboys lost Quandre Diggs, so sucks to be a Cowboys fan right now.
Wrong Diggs, but
Yeah.
they did lose a pretty big Diggs. They really digging themselves in a hole.
I mean, Stephon. I mean, whatever.
Same for 2.
Diggs.
It's all good. It's all good. You're forgiven, Chuck. But you will be mostly forgiven if you deliver a dub and L. How does that sound?
Oh, I'm with that. Okay, first dub of the day. We're gonna go with Colorado reaction to the number 11 hit on Colorado State's number 11, whatever, Blackburn. We're going to call him Chase Blackburn. Shout out Giants. Chase Blackburn absolutely destroyed Travis Hunter on a sideline throw. People are saying that, yes, I think it was the dirtiest hit I've ever seen. I think the kid should have got kicked out of the game right then and there. People are comparing it to that Florida-Oklahoma 2006 championship game hit by Major Wright. Major Wright's hit was fucking completely different. This guy, if you watch the film, took a step and then just literally went for his chest. Major Wright ran straight towards the guy and the ball was in the vicinity. The ball was not in the vicinity in this case, so that's why I was really pissed. That kid should have been thrown out. The dub here is Dion and Travis Hunter reacting to the media, and Shoop, you'll get into that in your L, but they didn't say anything bad. It was all respect, and I wouldn't expect anything more because that's how you should go at it. And Dion and Travis Hunter both said it was a clean. It's football. That's what happens. And I'm just saying I would be super pissed and be like, that kid should be at least suspended for the first half of the game, their next game. But I like the way they reacted, and it kept the media flatlining.
Listen, absolute props to Travis Hunter. I'm not sure what Dion said, but he's always saying something. But exactly. I do know that I did hear what Travis Hunter had to say, saying that it's part of football. It happens. That tells you right there that he's going to be a pretty good pro because he already knows how to answer the questions.
It just sucks he's going to be out the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, especially with a big game coming up. So I'm going to give out my W to a guy that you certainly appreciate, Mr. Eric Bieniemy. Yes. Now the offensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders. The whole deal was that he couldn't get a head coaching job because, whatever reason, maybe he just sucked at interviews. We'll never know the actual reason. Yeah. But now he gets an opportunity to kind of prove himself. He's not under Andy Reid's shadow. He's running an offense entirely on his own. Under whatever his name, Ron Rivera.
Yeah,
Riverboat Ron.
Yeah, down by the river, Ron.
And through 2 weeks, the results have been pretty good, especially this past week when they erupted for down 18 points, then score 35 points. Their run game is spectacular, and similar to what he did with the Chiefs. He likes to get his running backs out, likes to get them out for easy receptions. Helping the development of Sam Howell. The offense is competent this year. And, I'm enjoying the fact that he's getting good press. And I just hope that this offense continues for the Commanders because Bieniemy certainly deserves an opportunity. And he's on the perfect stage to prove himself. He needs to just keep going. He needs to just keep improving. And I think he'll land a head coaching job soon enough. What do you think?
Oh, I 100% think so as well. And if anybody gets a head coaching job, I think in Washington, it would be him. I think they'd kick out Rivera and promote him as a head coach. So I'm very positive of him being a head coach very soon.
Yes, but shout out Ron Rivera. He's been doing a fine job so far this season, and he has been over the past few years.
Yeah.
Even if their Commanders are the Commanders, which hopefully we won't have to say that name too much longer because I do not like.
Bring back football team.
All right. Facts. L. So you delivered the W and you mentioned my L. Listen, there's been a lot of turmoil in football over the past week or so. Um,
Yeah.
and a lot of it's been injuries, and we hate to see guys like Nick Chubb go out. We Trayvon Diggs, obviously we don't like the Cowboys, but sucks to see a talented player go out. Saquon's hurt, Eckler's still hurt. All these guys are hurt, but it's not the injuries of what I'm talking about, the turmoil. I'm
Mhm.
talking about just unclassy shit from fans, like basically just fans who are obnoxious. So we're talking about Colorado State, the player who hit Travis Hunter,
Mhm.
his family's getting death threats. Alexander Madison, who fumbled multiple times in the Vikings game. He had a poor game, but was met with some racist comments in his DMs from some guy with a throwaway account because that guy is too scared to even put his real name out there,
Yeah,
which
fucking pussy.
doesn't surprise me at all. But the worst of it all may be, I don't know if you heard about this, but the fan that died at Gillette Stadium, who was punched by a obnoxious Dolphins fan, and we all know, like, I'm never gonna be the type to be like, oh, all Dolphins fans are like that or blah blah blah. Like every fan base has fans like this. Even Giants fans have
Yes.
some stupid, obnoxious fans that go to games just to start trouble.
Oh yeah.
And here's an instance where it went way too far. And it wasn't like an egregious beatdown. It was a few punches to the head, which is still bad, but it's now considered normal at a football game. But finally, someone has paid a price for it. And
Exactly.
all this combined, with the way that sports gambling has kind of taken over the country, and also the fact that stuff like TikTok and social media in general, where we're all trying to get that next big moment,
Yeah.
has accentuated these kinds of things where like death
Crazy.
threats, racist messages, trying to get fights on camera. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, okay, this needs to stop right now. It's not going to, but I just hope that enough people see these messages, see the backlash that's going on, and decide that I'm not going to be that person. That's really all I hope for. But it's a huge L to anyone who takes part in this, and or anyone who remotely agrees with any of that I just said.
It really is. It's super tragic, and it's sad that now like people probably are thinking like shit, like if I go to the game like upper in the bleachers or anywhere in the stadium, like am I gonna get into an altercation with a drunk person who can't handle their alcohol and ultimately just ruin the entire night or day that you're going to the football game? And also people don't understand that if you fucking fight in a stadium, you're kicked out of the stadium. So not only are you a fan of a team that you got kicked out of your stadium, you can't come back ever again. Like, so the repercussions are, maybe they have to be even more. Maybe like if you get into a fight at the stadium, you can't be a fan. You can't be a fan of that team because that's not how an organization wants to be looked at either, as a bunch of fans fighting outside their stadium. I'm sick and tired of Twitter being filled with goddamn fucking fights and like death scenes. Like, and it's all and I'm like, I'm not looking at that stuff, but the algorithm is exploiting it, and we're seeing more and more of these instances outside of stadiums or at fucking concerts where chicks are fighting each other, or a fucking husband's fighting a lady or some bullshit. Like a guy died and his son was right next to him. So that gets me fucking fired up. Like, what are we doing? Can we just enjoy the game? Or like, maybe let's not sell fucking alcohol at the game so people can't be responsible. Bring your own fucking flask, sneak it in if you can't fucking buy $14 worth of beers each time and not be fucking coherent. So that just gets me fucking fired up. Like, I hate that shit.
I hate it too. I don't necessarily agree with banning alcohol because I don't want to punish the masses for
Yeah, I don't
actually
either.
too bad, but something's got to happen, and the only way that's going to work is if we all collectively understand that this is bullshit,
Yeah.
and we all you know unite to just shame these people, and
And fuck the people recording. Fuck the
don't
people
film,
recording.
don't
Yeah.
film, don't give them extra attention.
Fuck those people too. Fuck you.
Don't give them extra attention, and we're going to stop giving them extra attention too. So
Exactly.
let's go to your L, Chuck.
We'll keep it safe here. Nice and simple. Justin Fields recently interviewed, throwing
Oh,
people under the bus Tuesday morning, saying that he basically said that like he basically said it's the coaching, and then immediately after the interview, like a head coach comes up like, and how are you supposed to follow up with that after your star quarterback just basically threw you under the bus? So then, like hours later, there's another interview of him outside the locker room, Justin Fields, and he's just saying like, now he's like, it's on me now. Like any mistake that happens, like it's 100% my fault. Blah blah blah. Okay, buddy, let's see what happens when you throw 2 picks, and then everyone's like, okay, yeah, now it's your fault. Like it's not the coaching whatsoever. Should have kept your fucking mouth shut. Just go back to work and play your game. Like, yeah, maybe the play style isn't your game, but welcome to professional football league. Everybody's just as fast as you. Everybody knows what you're fucking gonna do. So fucking wake up, mature. I feel bad for Bears fans right now.
if you guys aren't,
And sorry, might I add, fucking the D coordinator is under serious shit. Allegedly, it's fucking child pornography. So he resigned and all that fucking crap. So now Chicago is like under fire right now. So I don't know what's going on there. A huge L. Might be
a
L.
literal shit show. That's such a shit show. I was going to say if you have not checked out JT O'Sullivan's The QB School, he has a
I
great
watched it.
does a great breakdown of all the quarterbacks in the league, but he's had a couple of hour-long videos on Justin Fields and the Bears offense, which his videos usually go like 20 or 30 minutes. So he really details how bad this offense has been. So that's bad enough. Making remarks like that is just not going to help your cause, and it's going to propel him towards Zach Wilson territory very quickly.
It's a shame.
It's a damn shame. Well, week 2 is in the books, and we will get to the losers, which the Bears will be a part of that list.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some winners. So, Chuck, why don't you give me 3 teams or players that you think won week 2?
So my first is actually going to be the Atlanta Falcons after defeating a Packers team without Aaron Jones, but I mean, maybe he was a huge factor, but
Still a good team.
yeah, Falcons look like a really good, hard-nosed, run it down your throat football team that plays really good defense. Everyone runs to the ball. Pass defense doesn't look too bad. Like I know they played the Panthers first game and they basically killed them. And then the second game is against a Packers team that we really don't know if it's super good yet. But I think this Falcons team, just like from where they're coming from, with Desmond Ridder at quarterback, which he's not doing a terrible job, and he's taking care of the football, and he finally threw some passes last week. And I'm pretty sure I think he threw for like only 119 yards, but still it's better than the week before, where I think he only threw for like 50 or something. But they're running it down everybody's throat. They're a team to watch, and I'm really liking how it was the first time since 2017, and they made the divisional in 2017. First time they've been 2-0 since that time. 6 years was a long time. So I'm ready for this Falcons team to get going. Definitely a winner.
Absolutely. We mentioned in the offseason, they made some great offseason acquisitions. They look like a favorite to win the NFC South, but a lot of people were saying the Saints. I mean, the Saints they're 2-0 as well, but
yeah,
they haven't played as well as the Falcons have. That running game is spectacular. My first W, so I already mentioned them, so we're gonna get them out of the way. But the Washington Commanders, the way they looked on, nobody thought they were gonna make that comeback when they were down 18 points early in the second quarter. Everyone probably dismissed them as an afterthought, especially how they almost lost to the Cardinals the week before. But very impressive by his team to go on the road in an environment like that and keep fighting. And the run game looks really good. Brian Robinson, after getting shot last year and having a slow rookie year, has really come into his own this year. He's starting to look like a breakout player.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of good receivers on this offense. I think the line is holding up pretty decently for Sam Howell. And if that D line, if Chase Young can really come into his own again, this is going to be a scary team in the NFC, even with that tough division.
Definitely. Watch out, the football team.
Yes, sir.
Now my second winner is going to go to the Dolphins, but specifically to a couple of guys, Tua, and Tua, and a little bit of Mike Daniels. But
A little bit.
I'm sorry, we've talked so much shit about this guy. We thought he was going to retire. Fucking comes out swinging, and I know he came out swinging last year too. He had a really good 2 weeks last year, but this year, even though Tyreek was held to like 40 yards, he still managed to distribute the ball well against the Patriots defense that's always sound with the best the Hall of Fame coach defense. So I mean, he's picking apart offenses like it's his job. Basically, like they're 50. I'm giving Tua like 75 more responsibility for his effectiveness with the offense. He's throwing dimes, dude, and the guys out there are super fast. Like you gotta, like those guys are so fast. Like he's probably overthrowing it, and they're just getting under it. So you got to be really accurate in those cases, especially if a guy's too fast. Two guys that are too fast, Waddle and Tyreek. So I'm looking for the Dolphins to be a really scary team coming up. We also thought their defense wasn't that good, but their defense is getting home. That guy Phillips off the edge, like for Miami, like he's nasty. I'm forgetting. I think Xavier Howard has like 4 kids, but that's not stopping him from playing elite on that defensive side. So I'm ready for the Dolphins to keep on firing throughout the whole entire season. So watch them to be the AFC East champion, I think.
They could be. They look like a top 5 team in the NFL right now. And what's interesting to me is the way that Mike McDaniel runs his offense. He runs these very complex routes that only his really fast receivers can do to get open. And you need a guy that can throw darts to get them the ball. Tua is living up to that expectation. He looks absolutely sharp. So let's hope he stays healthy throughout the entire season.
Yes, I'm praying.
All right. Let's talk about the New York Giants.
Yes.
I mean, listen, beating the Cardinals by 3 being down 20 at halftime, it's not great. But the way they won that game has got me excited as a Giants fan, like almost more than like almost any other game like these past few years, Brian Dable must have fired them the hell up in the locker room at halftime. They came out firing on offense. First play down the field, 60 yards to Jalen Hyatt. And then every possession after that, even when the Cardinals scored right after they did, the Giants were like, nah, we're just going to keep scoring and scoring and scoring. And as the Cardinals self-destructed, the Giants took advantage and won the game. And it's even with Saquon hurt now, it's like with Daniel Jones playing the way he is, how he was firing and running with confidence, the way that everyone wants Justin Fields to play it, but he doesn't. Like, it's super impressive and it's got to get you excited as a Giants fan. Like, he was making all the right plays, and this kind of forward momentum, like I'm expecting it, like at least a closer game than people think against the 49ers tonight.
I'm expecting Dimes to throw for 300 yards. I think that 49ers defense is not that good. They let up 300 yards passing against the Rams. I mean, the Rams don't have as good. I don't think they have as good receivers as the Giants, but the Giants receivers aren't really that good. I feel like they're on the same stratosphere, but like I'm expecting Dimes to just completely control this game without Saquon.
Yes, he needs to. All right. So let's get your third winner.
Okay, third winner of the last week. I got the Ravens. Ravens defense looks fucking phenomenal. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. That is the best linebacker duo in the NFL. I'll say it again. Best linebacker duo in the NFL. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. So fast they fucking fly around and they cover wide receivers. It doesn't matter who it is, fast running backs. Like I was watching that game and they were just flying around. And Joe Burrow's calf couldn't do a fucking thing about it. So Ravens going up 2-0. They're my favorite to win the the AFC North. They look really good. I'm looking for Lamar maybe on offense to take over a little bit more, but I don't think he needs to. That line just creates every hole they want and Gus Edwards. It doesn't matter who's running back there. Whatever, Justice Hill or whatever his name is, doesn't matter. They're going to get in the end zone, and Mark Andrews is back. So, Ravens, winner.
I think the Ravens are one of the AFC contenders just because of how well coached they are, and the talent they add on offense with how well the defense is playing. Sky's the limit for them, especially with how poor the Bengals are looking. Browns lost a player to an injury. Steelers' offense doesn't look good. The AFC North looks like it's theirs right now. Right.
Definitely does.
Third winner for me is the Buffalo Bills, and they needed this kind of victory, a classic home blowout victory over an inferior team. We got a lot of critics saying Josh Allen is not that good, that he's too turnover prone, not knowing that the Jets just happen to be the team that has his number. So let's not overreact here.
Yeah.
Josh Allen quickly proved that it was a big overreaction, led his team with confidence throughout this game. It might have looked a bit in doubt in the first quarter, but that was erased pretty quickly. And the run game looks fantastic. They got 3 backs, 2 of them that are like super old, including Latavius Murray. I don't know how he still has a career, but they're all thriving in this offense. So Bills, all the doubts are erased. Now with Aaron Rodgers gone, I think it's them and the Dolphins head to head. I'm very interested to see what happens when they square off.
I can't wait for that game.
Super, super excited for that. Let's talk about some losers from week 2. There's a lot of teams that disappointed, but let's pick 3 that really disappointed us. You go first.
First, right off the bat, I'm gonna have to go with the Broncos. They looked really good to start that game. They go up 21-3 at halftime against the Commanders, and then halftime is over, and then the Broncos never looked back. I mean, the Commanders never looked back, and then scored 35 unanswered points. Next thing I know, I'm watching Red Zone and scores like 35-21. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? It's like the fourth quarter. I mean, I don't know what it is. I think it's their defense. Their defense is not getting home on the pass rush. Like I'm watching. I'm like, Sam Howell has all day to throw back there. So I don't know what it is with the Broncos. I hopefully they figure it out defensively. Offensively, I mean, it looks like Russell Wilson still got it. I hope it just doesn't get any more worse than this, losing 2 at home in a row. Now you're 0-2. Like, hopefully Sean Payton can get the guys together, because I don't think he's really making a difference at this point.
Chuck, it's definitely the defense. They've regressed massively from last year. Now it's like the reverse problem. And I was talking to my friend while we were watching Red Zone when the 2-point conversion came up, which was a debatable pass interference.
Yeah.
I said, listen, even if they gave him that call, the Broncos probably wouldn't have converted it anyway, just knowing their luck the past few years.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so my first loser, let's talk about the Chicago Bears. They are the loser. They're probably the worst team in the NFL right now. Their defense, which was supposed to keep them in games, has not looked great, even with all the acquisitions that they made. And now they have a couple injuries on defense. Like, they're getting torched by Baker Mayfield, which I'm happy for Baker Mayfield, but he's not. He shouldn't be torching defenses.
No.
And Justin Fields, he can't read the field. He's standing in the pocket too long. He's not even using his legs, which is his best weapon. He's just somehow going backwards, and he's this superb athlete that doesn't know how to use his athleticism. But the offensive line and the coaching aren't doing him favors. It's all messed up in Chicago, and even the Cardinals, the Cardinals are actively tanking, but at least they put together a semblance of a good team. Their offense looks decent. Even Josh Dobbs uses his legs more than Justin Fields. How does that make sense?
I don't get it.
It's messed up. Bears, big L to them.
Chicago is burning, and you know what else is burning? The Raiders. The Raiders, they look really. I mean, I watched that game against the Bills. They came out, scored right off the bat. They're up 7-0. I'm like, yeah, Raiders gonna fucking keep it close against the Bills. I have Raiders +9.5. No, what they do is they let a touchdown go, then they get the ball back, and then they turn it, they punt it, and then Bills get the ball back, score, and that was the game right there. Raiders couldn't get anything else going on offense. Their line couldn't get a push up front. Max Crosby was non-existent in that game. Um, as a game wrecker, he is. I don't think he made one single play. I don't think he got a sack. I don't know what's going on in Vegas. Maybe because they had to take the long plane trip, but they barely made it out of there in Colorado and Denver against the fucking Broncos with that 1 point win. But McDaniels, I think, needs to get his shit together. Like, he brought all his guys that he knows that can run the playbook, but is he going to produce wins? I mean, I don't think so. So he's definitely on the hot seat, I think, to start the season.
Absolutely, he's on the hot seat. Let me give you another coach who is on the hot seat, and that is Brandon Staley, who
Yeah,
should have been fired already,
same
honestly.
age.
Now his team is 0-2, and I really don't know how to explain this 0-2 start. So, like, first game, very tough against the Dolphins team that's looking very formidable this year. But then they lose to the Titans, who Titans are very well coached. So it's not all too surprising. But what's surprising to me is this defense is supposed to be one of the best in the league.
Exactly.
Like, Justin Herbert and that offense have done their part. Justin Herbert has been turnover free this year. The passing game looks good. The run blocking is great. Offensive line's holding up. But on defense, they got Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, two elite pass rushers. At least they once were. They're not providing any sort of impact. And that secondary is just getting flamed. And they have a lot of uh, high priced players in that secondary. So they should be performing better. It's it's getting to that point, man, where it's just like they got a game coming up against the Vikings, another struggling team. They dropped to 0-3.
Yeah.
How much longer are we are they gonna wait around? Because Justin Herbert, his he's got there's this window, where you can build around Justin Herbert. Now that the contract is in effect, they're gonna lose players soon.
Yeah.
Coaching's got to turn his team around soon, or the Chargers are never gonna go anywhere, especially if the Chiefs in that division.
Oh yeah. They're in for a shitstorm for the rest of the season. Last team, who I thought was a shitstorm, but they did pull it off. But I still think they need a lot of improvement. Steelers. They
Mhm.
did win. Now, don't get me wrong, they won, but I think the only way they're winning is their defense. Offensively, that second half, I think the fourth quarter alone, I think they had maybe I think 40 yards of offense in the fourth quarter. They were down 3. Deshaun Watson puts the ball on the carpet and they scoop and score, and now then they were up 4 or what have you, 5. So yeah, like they won the game. Defense bailed them out though. When is Kenny Pickett and that offense? When are they gonna? Pickens got like a 60-yard catch and run, right? When are they going to get to the red zone and be efficient in the red zone? When is Najee Harris finally going to get a rhythm and start running over people? When is that O-line going to create holes? Or also, I'll go back to Kenny Pickett. Is Kenny Pickett, is he the guy? Is he the guy is the question. So I think Steelers, even though they won, offensively, big L. I think they have a lot of questions still. So we'll see how they do going forward.
Definitely. You know what would help Kenny Pickett's development? Fire Matt Canada. He's the
Yeah.
Steelers OC. He's just not doing a great job. He needs to go, and maybe we can see some real progress out of Pickett. The team they beat, the Cleveland Browns, suffered a huge defeat on Monday night, losing Nick Chubb for the season, and it's one of the most likable players in the league, so it's hard to see. But it's also hard for me to feel bad for the Browns when they had the most dislikable player in maybe all of sports in Deshaun Watson, who they signed to like a 250 million guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
And he had a whole offseason to prepare and get better. No progress. He looks awful. Turnovers, bad throws, non-sync with his receivers. If their plan was to run the ball, why did they pay Watson? Why not just go with Brissett or or like Dobbs or any of these quarterbacks that can do exactly what your old quarterbacks did, which is hand the freaking ball off. Why'd you even get rid of Baker Mayfield? Why? What was the point? He led you to a
Oh, yeah.
playoff game, playoff
Yeah.
win. It just there's not. I'm kind of speechless about it, honestly. We all knew it was a mistake when he signed that deal, and I'm just like I'm honestly happy about it. Like,
Yeah.
great. I'm glad he sucks.
Me too.
It's total karma for the Browns, total karma for Watson. I hope he's never the same again. And it's a shame because that franchise is cursed and doesn't need more shit thrown their way, but they dug a hole themselves. So that's all I gotta say on
The
that.
Browns stay Browning.
They do. They do. So let's move on and let's hit some pick'em. Let's cap off our show with some pick'em. Before we go into NFL, we got a few big college games that
Yeah.
we want to roll
Huge.
through real quick. So let's start with the big one, our top 10 matchup between our two teams, Ohio State and Notre Dame. At Notre Dame this year, top 10 matchup. Ohio State has looked like iffy so far to start the season, although they kind of started to hit their stride in that third game against Western Kentucky. Notre Dame, new quarterback, new running back, new offense in general. One of the best offensive tackles in all of college football. But propensity to not win these big games. What's your take
on this game? I think it's going to be the best game of the night. Really close. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I think whoever wins, and I'm rooting for the Irish, even though I do like Ohio State a lot. I am Irish first, so let's go Irish. I think either team wins by a field goal in the last seconds of the game, and we're about to see, I think, offensive explosion on both sides. Notre Dame gets their starters, 3 of their starters back from last week who were injured, but I'm looking at both of these defenses, and I think the Notre Dame offense and Ohio State offense they're going to throw all over the place, especially Sam Hartman. And then when it has to come to the run game, whoever wins up front, whoever O-line wins up front, I think who ultimately wins the game, controls the game, and wins the game. So we're looking at Estime to fucking go off on Notre Dame, and then we're looking at I forgot the running back in Ohio State, Henderson. Yeah, I'm looking at Henderson to go off for Ohio State, and we're looking to see if Kyle McCord can still be. Well, he is the guy right now, but can he be the guy throughout the whole season with this big matchup coming up? Because even though I think Ohio State played Indiana, which was their only I think close to good opponent they played, I think Ohio State has the edge on matchups playing NC State, which I think is 10 times better than Indiana. But we'll see. I'm hoping for a good game.
Well, it's hard not to be biased here, but
yeah,
I mean, Ohio State has they've been winning these big conference games recently, and I like the forward momentum they have from the huge first half they had last week. But I do expect to be very close. It would not surprise me to see this game come down to a last second field goal. I actually think it's going to be a lot lower scoring than you think. I'm looking at maybe a 31-28.
okay.
But I got Ohio State winning that one.
Next one. Can't wait.
Colorado, Oregon.
Yes.
Deion Sanders with his biggest test yet on the road against a team ranked higher than his team. Oregon obviously not talked about as much, but they're off to a sharp start this year, and Pac-12 in general is looking pretty good, but this is going to be a huge test to see where they rank among the rest of college football. No Travis Hunter for Colorado, of course. So how does it impact your choice?
Definitely impacts my choice with Travis Hunter being gone. I do still think this game is going to be close, but I think Oregon wins by 8 points just because they're at home and just because Colorado's without Travis Hunter, who is actually very influential on offense and defense. But I think Shador is still gonna throw for like 350. I don't think that Oregon defense is something to be scared of. Um, I think Bo Nix. I think Colorado will have a couple chances. I think Bo Nix is gonna turn over the football. I think he's due to turn over the football a couple times. It all comes down to, can Colorado get stops and get off the field early? Because if we see Oregon go up, I think 21-0 within the first quarter and then start of the second quarter, I think this game's nothing but over. Because I don't think you can come back from that, especially traveling to Oregon. And I think Oregon will have a better run game. I think it was Franklin's the running back. So I am going to go Oregon's going to win, but I like my pick. One of my picks, I like Colorado's to cover 21.5. I mean, I think it's 21 right now, FanDuel.
Crazy that the spread's that high. I think they're going to cover that too.
I think they're going to cover.
There's a big mismatch in this game, and Colorado's run defense has not been good so far this year, and Oregon, their strength is their run game. I think that's what's going to make the difference. But I can see it being a really high-scoring game, like 56-42. But the hype has gotten a little overblown for Colorado, especially with how they struggled, against Colorado State. I just think it's a lot of young players, a lot of new players, and they're all kind of, I don't know if it's just nerves or just they're the spotlight's too much, whatever it is. They need like a little slap in the face, and I think this game will provide it. All right,
I like that.
And whatever. Any other college football picks you want to hit us with?
So yeah, I like that. Colorado plus 21. I also love Oklahoma minus 14.5 at Cincinnati. I think Oklahoma's offense just exploded last week. I forgot against who, but it was a Power 5 team. And then third pick, I love Rutgers at Michigan to cover plus 24.5. Harbaugh comes back, but I think he comes back rusty, and he's on that sideline and doesn't know what to do that day. But Michigan still pulls off the win, obviously.
Tough road test for Rutgers, but I would love to see that happen for the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, right. Let's go.
Yes, I'm going with Ole Miss to beat Alabama, and Alabama's QB struggles continue, and the downfall of Nick Saban starts.
I think it's there's plus 7, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah.
I'll take that spread.
I'll take that cover for sure. Let's go to our NFL picks. NFL picks last week were pretty straightforward. We both did pretty well. There's a lot of big favorites this week, so hard to find some good games to pick from. But we're going to start with the Chargers and the Vikings, 2-0-2 teams who both desperate for a win. Both have had terrible luck on their side. So who gets to win in this one?
It's got to be the Chargers. I think they need to win this game. I see the Vikings as a team that's just defensively like nobody on the field in their secondary. I think that can stop this Chargers offense. I don't think Eckler's back, but I think Herbert is just going to have a day, and the offense is going to pull through this time, and defense is going to get one stop at the end to win the game. Because Jefferson's still going to go off. Kirk Cousins is going to get his yards. I don't think Vikings are going to be able to run the ball. So I think it's definitely going to go to the wire, but Chargers squeak out of there.
This is going to be an exciting game. This is going to be maybe the highest scoring game on the slate this week. The Chargers have to win this game. And like their defense is just so much better than the Vikings defense. So that's, enough of this an advantage for them on paper for them to pull out the win. I just don't know because they're just so it just seems like they're getting all the unlucky juice this year. But at the end of the day, the Vikings did have all those close wins last year. So now it's going reverse on them this year. So that's what's pulling me towards the Chargers in this game.
I like it.
It'll be close though. Another close game. So the New Orleans Saints are 2-0. They take on the Green Bay Packers, who lost a close one to the Falcons, in which they led by double digits in the fourth quarter. Expected to get Aaron Jones back this week. Does Derek Carr continue his hot start, or the Packers win this one at home?
Now, Saints got to go to Green Bay. I was up and down with this. I still am right now, but I am gonna go with the Saints. I think the Saints I think the Saints need a game where their offense comes out and explodes, and this is the game I think they can do it. Um, it all depends on how Derek Carr handles the football, because if he starts throwing picks early, this game could be a wrap, because then the Packers can just take the football and I think basically run it down the Saints' throat. But I'm definitely taking the Saints here. I think the Saints have better weapons on offense, so I'm going to go with the Saints.
Not so fast, my friend. I wanted to say that, but Packers will win this game, and reason being, coaching mismatch. Matt LaFleur, much better coach than Dennis Allen.
Hmm.
Saints, they weren't playing that great of a team last week, and defense kept them in it, but really it was Bryce Young's poor play that also kept them in it. I think this is the best quarterback that the Saints have seen so far this year, which is weird to say because we didn't really think of that about Jordan Love in the offseason, but
Yeah,
he's
no.
looked good so far. And having Aaron Jones back will definitely make matters better. I can see this as a low scoring game, but Derek Carr hasn't really impressed me so far this year. And I think they're due for a loss. So I got Packers.
Go Pack, go.
Yes. And the Monday night game. So this one's an interesting one because we don't know for sure if Joe Burrow will play yet, but we're still gonna talk about it. Got the Rams going into Cincinnati, 2.5 point underdog. The Rams are. Uh, Bengals. This, I mean, they've been limited because Joe Burrow hasn't been throwing the ball downfield. So you wonder if Burrow playing even helps them at this point. But what do you think? Who wins this game?
Is this? I'm sorry. Is this at Rams?
Is that Cincinnati?
I the Rams. They came off a not really like a tough loss, but they gave the 49ers such a good fight. And Matthew Stafford, we don't give Matthew Stafford enough credit. He is he is a quarterback that you want in your offense that can distribute the ball and throw it accurately. And the guy does still fucking sling it. And we don't talk about this enough, I don't think, that he is I think still top 10 quarterback in the league. He doesn't have the weapons to back it up, but this guy Puka Nakua, big fan of Puka Nakua. God damn it, this guy gets 20 targets a game, catches every pass, runs like he's got his fucking hair on fire. He'll run over anybody, and I love this name, Puka Nakua. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think the Bengals are still hungover. I think the Bengals go 0-3, because that Bengals defense in the secondary, I don't think they can make a play to save their life. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. Stafford's gonna throw for 300 yards, and the Rams win.
You make a very good case for the Rams winning, but at the end of the day, the Bengals, they gotta realize their backs are against the wall here in the talented AFC. They have to win this game. At the very least, Sean McVay and company have they've won their Super Bowl and they weren't expected to compete this year. They're kind of playing with house money, but the Bengals have to win this game, and I think Burrow doesn't play. But if Jake Browning plays, I like backing good teams with backup quarterbacks playing because I think they rally around their guys
Okay.
and play better as a result. Uh, the Bengals they're still well coached. They still have plenty of talent all across the field, and they're going to play desperate, especially on a national stage. So I'm going to pick the Bengals. I'm not confident in it, but they can't be 0-3. I just can't see
Yeah,
them.
I get that. And Chase needs to step up. God damn it, bro. Where are you?
Yes, be a wide receiver one for real.
Seriously.
Anyway, so my lock of the week, I got the Patriots -2.5 playing the Jets. Bill Belichick owns Zach Wilson, and it's going to be shitty weather apparently, which is just going to make things even worse for Zach Wilson because this is going to be a defensive grinder. I mean, the Jets have a good defense of their own, but the Zach Wilson is probably gonna have 5 turnovers if he even makes it through the game. So I got Patriots all the way here, and my upset pick is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders. They won a similar game last year, And even though the offense struggles, once again, coaching mismatch. You got Mike Tomlin, one of the best coaches in the NFL. Josh McDaniels shouldn't be head coach in the NFL. So that's my pick.
I love it. I love those picks. I really love the Patriots one too because the Jets are on their way out. So my locks, 5-5 with locks. So here I'm gonna have 3 right here. So first one, love that. Patriots, Jets, under 37.5. It's gonna be raining. Apparently there's a monsoon or something. Well, it's gonna be raining a fuck ton. The weather is not gonna be good at this game. I'm looking like defensive. So yes, Zach Wilson 4 turnovers. I'm looking the final score to be like 18-0 Patriots. So take the under 37, and then my other 2 are going to be spread picks. First one, Chiefs at the Bears. No, Chiefs at home against the Bears. Chiefs minus 12.5. Chicago's burning. There's no way that the Bears come into Arrowhead and even remotely keep it close. And then the Chiefs are due for a huge offensive game. So I'm expecting the Chiefs to put up like 40 points and finally get the offense going because these past couple weeks, offense has looked like shit. I'm not going to lie. And then my last pick, look at the theme here. We're attacking shitty teams. So my last lock, Cowboys, minus 12.5 against Cardinals. Cardinals looked good against the Giants, but this is not the Giants. The Cardinals in the second half, after they scored that touchdown, they had like 48 yards of total offense, and then they had like 4 drives, and they punted at all 4. And then one drive, they threw a pick. So looking for the Cowboys to win 40-0.
That sounds about right, especially with that defense.
Yeah.
We are on offense every week with the Chuck and Shoop show.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed it. Lots of football to talk about, and we're going to have a huge weekend. I'm very excited for college football on Saturday.
Super
Should be a blast. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. Make sure to follow us on Spotify at the Shoop Sports broadcast channel. Link in the description. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Shoop Sports. And that's it. I'm Shoop.
I'm Chuck. Like and subscribe.
And we are out.